Hello, I'm Mark Anthony Davis, and I'm here to review days 2 through 4 of the Road to the New Beginning shows. Before I get to the review, I just wanted to say thanks for showing up and everything. Since this obviously is audio only, you can go ahead and switch tabs, or if you have YouTube Premium, listen to me in the background with your phone off. But either way, I hope you enjoy what I got to say, and let's just get down to the shows anyways. Fantastica Mania was a fine palate cleanser after the intense and climactic night of Wrestle Kingdom and New Year's Dash, the show to set up the new feuds and revive old matches. And more than 3 weeks later, with a good chunk of top guys able to get rest or take a lighter load with tag matches, New Japan is primed to have a pretty good lineup of shows, disappointing US tour aside. Since I restarted watching New Japan again the last month, I can't help but notice an air of negativity when it comes to the US tour and even Wrestle Kingdom itself. I want to see if the negativity is actually warranted, or is it like 2015 through 2017 where New Japan was the cool thing to watch, and is it now that it's the cool thing to rag on? I guess WWE has always hold the latter position, but maybe I'm just asking the wrong question to begin with. Anyways, after watching the upcoming shows and listening to my reviews, I want to know how you feel about the current New Japan product. Are things on a path of decline, or is it just business as usual? That being said, let's go over night 2 of the Road to the New Beginning. The first show streamed on New Japan World live from Kurikan Hall. The show started off with Ren Narita and Manabu Nakanishi versus Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji. I may have got the pronunciation for some of those names wrong because I think this is the first time I've actually seen Uemura and Tsuji face anyone actually. And for these shows, I should note before we get down to the match itself, Kevin Kelly and Andy Simmons are on the call. They were very good throughout the night and through these 3 shows. I do have some complaints, but I'll save that for the 4th night towards the end. But as Uemura and Tsuji make their entrance, I noticed that Uemura has a very impressive physique. They all kind of do that. Like Tsuji is very big and bulky. Uemura is ripped, muscular, and Ren Narita has a good mixture of both. They all have good size and prove to be pretty athletic, but they also had some pretty great heads of hair too, so they have a lot going for them. The young lions, they always come out aggressive in these matches, so Uemura and Narita started off with some even chain wrestling, and Nakanishi and Tsuji had a good exchange. And I learned throughout the match with this good commentary is that Tsuji played American football for Japanese university. I didn't even know that American football expanded that far, but yeah, he was a quarterback, and it seemed like from what they're describing that it was like what's it called? Is it a wishbone offense? Wildcat offense? It's the offense where the quarterback runs a lot. And apparently Tsuji had the ball like 80% of the time, so that's pretty cool. He doesn't strike me as a guy who has the body of a quarterback, but I guess in Japan, the athletes are different sizes than here in America. But anyways, Tsuji, it's funny though, Tsuji played American football but could not shoulder tackle Nakanishi down. Ends up beating the big chop. So eventually Uemura comes in. He gets punished by Nakanishi. Then Tsuji comes back in with fire, but cannot lift Nakanishi and gets chopped. Eventually Tsuji does hit that body slam though. Uemura and Ren get back in. Uemura hits a great corner drop kick, was the highlight of the match. Uemura gets a Boston Crab. It seems that Ren Narita is going to tap out. I thought that was in the match, but he ends up able to grab the ropes and escape. Nakanishi shows more impressive power with a double suplex, grabbing him up by like their pants, or their trunks, I should say. But then Ren Narita taps out Uemura with the Boston Crab, switching the positions this time and getting the win for his team. So it was a pretty good match and a good match to start any show. It was a good back and forth with a big false finish and a satisfying actual finish. And this is one of my favorite matches thus far in this tour, actually, even with what we get later. But the next match was Henare and Hiroshi Tenzan versus Shota Umino and Ayao Yoshida. I've seen Yoshida before in the Lionsgate shows, I believe, and he's not from the New Japan Dojo. I do remember that it's called the K Dojo, which I do not know what promotion runs that, but I know it ain't New Japan. But apparently he's now transferred dojos, and now he's officially a young lion, even though he seems to be a little bit more able in the ring than most young lions, but not as physically imposing as the other young lions. So hopefully, young lion process, will almost undoubtedly make him a better wrestler, but also give him a stronger, more intimidating looking physique, because he does remind me, those pump kicks remind me of Shibata, and I want him to look like Shibata too, because I know I need somebody to fill that Shibata-shaped hole in my heart. But anyways, to start the match, Umino shows a lot of fight against Tenzan, but was eventually bested. Tenzan again playing that veteran role, beating up on the young lions. Yoshida had Henare to handle afterwards, and Yoshida eventually got double teamed by Henare and Tenzan. Yoshida eventually gets Henare in a sleeper, while Shota had Tenzan in the Boston Crab, but Henare gets out of it, hits a Uranagi eventually on Yoshida for the pin. But this wasn't as good as the match as the first one, but it still serviced the same story as that these young lions, they show a lot of fire and fight. It's the same as Henare, but it's lesser, so because they're lower on a totem pole, and they end up just losing in the end to the more experienced team. So it was a simple story, and it still satisfied me. It's a nice warm-up matches, but I wonder if Yoshida will do well this year. The commentator, what was his name, Simmons, basically said that he's probably not going to do well this year, which I don't know. He probably won't. I don't see what he would do, but I don't know. He seemed pretty able from that one match I saw. Next up was Ryusuke Taguchi, Tomoaki Honma, Toru Yano, and Togi Makabe, which is a combination of Taguchi Japan, Chaos, and Great Bash Heel, which they're dubbing the home team. I forgot what the phrase is in Japan, but this is the home team, and they're going against Bullet Club, the outsiders, as always, versus Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, Tonga Loa, and Tama Tonga. So this is hyping up not only the junior heavyweight match in the future shows, which I believe is happening Saturday. I get confused which title matches are happening when, but I believe the Intercontinental and Junior heavyweight matches are happening Saturday. Or is that Friday? It's happening Saturday, and the heavyweight match in the Okada special singles match is happening on the 11th. I might be wrong about that, but obviously we'll get to it because I'm going to review those shows as well. But this match is also hyping up the championship match for the never open six-man titles that will happen today, Wednesday, the fourth day of the tour. We'll get to that. Makabe and Tonga Loa start out. Makabe gets a lariat. He's lariat off and the upper hand. Yano and Tama eventually come out, and I'm wondering, did Tama Tonga have a bicep injury, because his right bicep looks kind of weaker than normal, and he's not moving around or he's not showing any weakness when it comes to that bicep. He's doing all his normal stuff. He doesn't seem to be hiding anything. But it just seems like his right bicep looks a lot weaker than it normally does, and it looks slightly smaller than his left bicep. But I looked it up, and it said that he did have an injury, but I think I didn't read too much into it. I literally spent 30 seconds, and the first thing that kept coming up was a knee injury that he sustained last year, and obviously a knee is not a bicep. But anyways, Tama kept pushing, he's a good guy thing, and Chase Owens and Tonga Loa kept trying to cheat. And as I believe Chase Owens put the pad, took the pad off and tried to Irish whip Yano into the open turnbuckle. But match eventually breaks down. They want him to be a bad guy and all. Tonga gets ran into the metal turnbuckle. Taguchi runs wild with hip attacks. Jado hits Honma with the kendo stick. Tonga Loa hits his finish on Honma for the pin. It's like this weird, I don't know. It's like if you watch UWL, like Planet Jones finish, or the signature move. I don't know if it's supposed to be a driver or a gut buster, but he won with it. It was a good match. It was standard New Japan tag affair. Ishimori and Taguchi didn't tell us much of what's going to happen in their match. I mean, they definitely in their later encounters definitely had some more substantive exchanges, but it was a lot of the same spots between Ishimori and Taguchi that they had in the Fantasticmania tour. They're just warming up for this one, I guess. But after the match, Ishimori locked an ankle lock on Taguchi. So that is an interesting little thing there. Next up was Yoshihashi and Kazuchika Okada versus Yujiro Takahashi and Bad Luck Fale. This was the worst match on the show, and it's one of the worst matches Okada has of late. I mean, it's a tag match. It's not really on him, but I'm not saying it's bad. I just like to use that superlative. It was an all right. Because, of course, this match is happening because Okada is going to face Fale at the end of the tour in a singles match. And that's what you do. Fale is always used to start up somebody's shriek or to progress to the next match. I remember Fale being like the championship defense that Okada had between Shibata and Omega back in 2017, and he was merely used to bring Okada back into the Bullet Club sphere to get to Omega, which is also used as a fine filler defense because, during 2017, he beat Omega, who was just this new challenger, was wild, beat Suzuki, who stretched him out and brought him to the brink of retirement, and was able to make a big comeback and win. Then he faced a Tiger Mask, which ended up being a big sprint of a match. Then Shibata, which was just more punishment. Fale is just that one big guy that's always there to vary up the challengers that one opponent has. So he's there for that. And in this match, Fale ends up dominating for the most part with his size. And as soon as Fale tags out, Okada starts to dominate again because, no one can really touch Okada besides Fale, I guess, in the build-up to this match. But when Okada tags out, Yoshihashi starts to get dominated. And then, we're just waiting for Okada to come back out, and he eventually gets the hot tag where he body slams Fale and always gets some cheers because he just body slammed this big old dude. And Fale does one of his best spots, which is get clothesline over the top rope. And the match ends with Okada hitting the Rainmaker for Takahashi for the pin. Simple finish, the way it should be. But after the match was really was exciting to me as I Fale was beating up on both Yoshi and Okada and almost hits Okada with a crucifix powerbomb on the outside, but he was luckily stopped by like a dozen Young Lions and ringside people. So Okada didn't get killed there, but knowing Okada, he probably would have got up and had that slightly defeated half smile on his face saying like, what the fuck just happened to me? But anyways, they'll have many encounters upcoming to the 11th. I'm building up to the 11th, I'm sure of it. But this upcoming match, the second to last match of Kushida's in New Japan. For now, I feel like eventually he's going to come back, be it in 3 years or 8 years or however well his WWE run will go and how satisfied he is with being in America. That will determine how fast he comes back, but eventually he will come back because, everyone does towards the end of their career, comes back to, the homeland, The match was Kushida, Tanahashi versus Gato and Jay White. We all know that Kushida and Tanahashi wrestled on the third night of the tour, and Tanahashi will also be facing Jay White at the end of the tour. So this match I didn't take down much notes because I was just enjoying the match. I love watching Jay White. Tanahashi, he just moves. He's moving a lot better than the night after Wrestle Kingdom, obviously, because they had a lot of time to rest up. But man, the way he moves sometimes just makes me I get uncomfortable the way he moves, I mean, it's a lot worse with Tenzan and Nakanishi, but I really noticed that the next night with those two. But anyways, Jay White was, Tana was working on Jay's arm. Then Kushida was working on Jay's arm. Then they went back and forth, cranking and working on Jay White's arm. But eventually, Jay White gets the upper hand, takes Tana to the outside, and slams a Young Lion on top of Tana's body. And Jay White also worked over Kushida. Kushida did not end up getting beat. because Tana comes back in with a big comeback, and Tanahashi hits the high fly flow on Gedo for the pin. And after the match, I was surprised. I'm pretty sure after the match, Jay White didn't really make a point to beat up on anyone, but which he did in the upcoming days. But next up was Shingo, Takagi, Bushi, Sanada, Evil, and Tetsuya Naito versus El Desperado, Yoshinobu, Kanemaru, Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Minoru Suzuki. And I love the match setup that they'll usually have this on the road to New Beginning shows. Is the elimination and 10-man elimination tag matches. So you can be eliminated by pin, submission, or over the top rope. So I like that. I wonder if the Royal Rumble being around this time, and actually in this case was the same day as the Royal Rumble, like does that, on Gato's mind, is that that influence him to have that right now? They consistently does that around the Royal Rumble time. I don't know, but either way, I always enjoy these. Sometimes it's better than the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't know this time because I didn't watch the Royal Rumble, but Suzuki comes out with a new haircut, still looking badass. And I just don't get, why is Taka cutting that promo after their entrance? They're like, he finishes off like, come out now or something, or come out here. They're coming out anyway. Like, they're not gonna come out. They don't need you to tell them that. You're not intimidating anyone. I don't know. I just find his presence unnecessary. But apparently, the 28th was Sonata's birthday. He's getting up there in age. Oh, I forgot. He's like in his like 33. Let me Google that right now. Say Sonata. Well, that's kind of funny. The first thing when I popped up when I Googled Seiya Sonata was his TNA pictures. Ugh, memories. Anyways, he's 31, so he's not. He's middle of the road, I guess. I thought he was a little bit older than that because I know Naito was a little shockingly older to me. He's like 36, so he's still fairly young. He definitely has a lot of potential. But anyways, the match starts off and it was very hectic. I can't get all this stuff down. It was fun. It was probably the best match up to this point. I mean, obviously, the singles match is going to be better than that between Tanahashi and Kushida, but it was one of the better matches thus far. And in terms of my notes here, I say, Taichi opens up the ropes for Naito, being like, trying to be nice, I guess, but then blast Naito with the clothesline to start the match. Bushi gets punished. There's a lot of Bushi chants, which you do not hear often. And I remember when I first started watching, I didn't like Bushi because he had like this purple lipstick and would always be shooting that purple, what's it supposed to be, ink? I forgot, acid, whatever it is. I'm like, that's so disgusting. That's so nasty. And it just grossed me out. But he is growing on me a lot. I think I really like him now. But anyways, Taichi denies Bushi from tagging. And Naito spits in his face. And eventually Naito gets in. Suzuki Gun dominates Naito, and at this point, it's like we're nearing like 10 to 15 minutes in. Like I think for the first 15 or 16 minutes, there was no eliminations. When Sonata gets in and he's going against Suzuki, he almost gets knocked out with a sleeper. But and Suzuki was not able to get the gotcha pile driver, but Sonata and Suzuki were on the apron. And for some reason, I forgot exactly what it was. Suzuki and Sonata both get knocked over the top rope and get eliminated. Now it's like 15 or 16 minutes into the match. But as one domino falls, the rest shall do rather soon, because Shingo clothesline Desperado over the top rope, eliminates him. Bushi gets thrown into Shingo on the apron, and Shingo is eliminated. Bushi backslider and bridges Kanemaru and gets the pin on him. Then Zack Sabre comes in very shortly, taps out Bushi. Evil hits his finish on Zack Sabre Jr. on the apron, and then both are eliminated because they both fell over the top rope, then off the apron. Then it's just Taichi and Naito. And as you notice here with the eliminations, or for the most part, they're tagging, the grouping is what the major feud. They're teasing past or future matches in a way. Sonata Suzuki, they're always going to be matching up this whole tour. Evil and Zack Sabre Jr., they have a history. Zack Sabre Jr. keeps besting Evil in every confrontation. So it was fitting that Evil finally gets to hit his finish on Zack, but they both get eliminated as a result. Shingo he focuses on Desperado and Kanemaru, but it fits because him and Bushi have a tag match against them for the championships in an upcoming show. But yeah, and we're left with Naito and Taiji. And Taiji hits Zensiguri on Naito on the apron, and just like that, Suzuki Gun wins. Suzuki Gun, I should say. Sorry about that. But as I was watching the match, I noticed that Naito and Taiji seem to have good timing with each other. I haven't watched other singles matches, so I know I could be completely wrong. And Taichi's not the one that usually has great matches, but still, I felt like after watching that, I felt very optimistic about the quality of match you're going to have for that IC championship. So I'm feeling good. I'm going to say, I'll go for it to say that's going to be a great match. You heard it here first, or worst. But anyways, after the match, Taichi talks, he says whatever. And as he's leaving, I remember he got caught in the microphone wire. That was pretty comical. But yeah, that was the end of the show. Overall, it was good. It was good, satisfying. It might not have been good. I mean, no, it was good, but it might be not as good as the last Fantastic Mania show. But I ended up enjoying this more, obviously, because I know the characters, and I'm more anticipating the build-up because I have an investment in Japan that I just simply do not have in CMLL. That's not an indictment of either product. That's just how I am, and that obviously influenced my reviews and what I thought of those shows. So here, I didn't get nearly as tired or burnt out on watching these, or felt like, man, I'm just watching this for a review. A little bit of the second one I did, but for the most part, I legitimately enjoyed these and did not regret watching them. But so that's the first show down the books. We have another one, which I have the next day on the 29th, still in Kurikan in Tokyo. And it starts off with a Young Lions singles match this time, Ren Narita versus Yuya Uemura. So this match was pretty back and forth. Narita gets a Boston Crab pretty early, but Uemura breaks free, and from this point, Uemura, was kind of selling that lower back injury, showing that pain, which I like. Uemura hits a nice drop kick on the back of Narita, then another corner drop kick, like last night. Uemura hits a crab, and he hits it deep, but Ren was able to power out. Narita hits a belly-to-belly with a bridge for the pin. Both look very impressive. Next up was Manabu Nakanishi teaming up with Hiroshi Tenzan this time, going against two young lions, Umino and Yoshida. Going into this, the commentators were like, it's 55 years of experience versus 6 years. Yeah, that tells you how much the chances they have of getting any offense in. And then just like that, they're approved to, miscall situation, because Umino and Yoshida showed a lot of fight and got a lot of offense in, especially Umino. But Nakanishi wasn't having any of it. Yoshida was able to best Tenzan shortly, but eventually Yoshida gets double teamed, and eventually it was just Nakanishi and Yoshida. They have a chop battle. I forget who comes out of top of that. Probably Nakanishi, but Yoshida would eventually have to tag out. Umino comes in and he was able to body slam Nakanishi. Impressive. And it was quite the competitive match, I had to put, between these two. It was extremely young versus extremely old. And I didn't make a note about it here, but they were still, the older two were still moving pretty bad. But eventually Tenzan taps out Yoshida with the Anaconda Vice as Nakanishi had, Umino up and the torture rack. So again, more of the same young lion versus veteran story. And, there's going to be one of these probably on a tour where one of these young lions will pin a veteran. So look out for that. They'll have a bunch of these type of matches, but that one that's going to surprise you. So then Ryusuke, Taguchi, and Toru Henare teamed up against Taiji and Yujiro. Taguchi, not so serious. He was trying to have some fun. Trying to distract himself, I guess, on how serious this is, how, great Ishimori is. But Taguchi, I noticed, had a big bruise on his chest. I forgot from what. And Taguchi had the upper hand on Ishimori pretty much throughout the match. Or for the first part, I should say. Henare got double teamed. Taguchi eventually gets, when they meet up with Taiji once again, he gets the ankle lock. But Taiji quickly escapes and ultimately is pretty even. Taguchi uses a rugby ball to hit Ishimori. Takahashi hits a DDT on Henare for the win. You notice that my notes don't really have anything about Yujiro Takahashi in them. Because he's just okay. He's okay. Like, I don't know, that's how I feel about him. He's okay. Henare, she showed a lot of fire and athleticism like he did before. But, not much else. Really not much else. Taiji kicks the ball into the crowd and says, fuck Taguchi, into the commentator's mic. So that's nice. The next match was Tomoaki Honma, Togi Makabe, and Toru Yano versus Chase Owens, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. And it was, GBH and Chaos fighting together against a common foe, the Outsiders, Bullet Club. Honma, yelling bad guy at Tama Tonga with that raspy voice. Tama Tonga keep insisting that he's a good guy. We know. It's just silly. I don't know. I feel kind of bad for Tama Tonga because I feel that he should be more. But each time he has an opportunity to do more, he doesn't really take it. He's had matches with at least one match with Okada before in a G1, and that's it. He gets an entry in a G1 very frequently, almost every year, and I just feel like he does not use it to the best of his ability. And I don't think it's a Western style versus Japanese style. I just think I don't know. I don't know what you can put it on. I just feel like he's not doing, it's not what I expect from him. Maybe not everyone needs to be a serious wrestler, but I feel like he can be. Anyways, Chase Owens kept cheating, and Tama kept saying, I'm sorry, while doing his moves because, he's benefiting from the cheating, but he still keeps going anyway. And there's constant tagging by Bullet Club because, that's what heels do in tag matches normally. They constantly use tags to get the man advantage on one guy, which I don't know, that's not really a heel thing, that's just a smart thing to do. But, so that doesn't really work on me. Like, the conventional tag match is that the heels have the numbers advantage, but that's the rules, though. Like, if you keep them on your side of the ring, you constantly tag, that's the rules, that's good strategy. And I'm supposed to boo you for it? Like, no, fuck off. I mean, I know that has worked for decades, but it doesn't work on me. So there's a little bit of that here. When Honma finally tags in, Honma was the one getting worked over, but Honma finally tags in Yano, and all I put in my notes was antics. Eventually, Makabe comes in. He's thrown into the ref, and Jado hits Honma with the kendo stick, and tries to hit a draping DDT, but eventually, Jado got off the draping DDT. I forgot who took him off it though. So, obviously they're playing up the neck injuries that Honma had, which were pretty bad. So, and he doesn't get DDT though, because the DDT was the move that gave him his initial. Well, I don't know if that was his first neck injury, but one of the big neck injuries they had in 2017, which almost retired him. But Makabe hits the King Kong knee drop on Chase Owens for the win. It's a knee drop from the top rope, and too bad Chase Owens had to take a pin. I feel Chase Owens should be more too. And anyone who has a package power driver finish should be close to world champion in my heart. But that's why I don't book actual wrestling. But anyways, the next match was Kazuchika Okada and Yoshihashi versus Bad Luck Fale and Jay White. So, similar like last time, except we have a Jay White instead of a Yujiro, so it's a better match just on that fact alone. But the commentators here, they keep playing up a Switchblade Shock, similarly to the Rainmaker Shock in 2012. But if Jay White wins, yes, that would be... We wouldn't expect that so soon, I guess. But not really, though. I don't. It's not a shock in any switch to word. It wouldn't be a shock, I don't think. Especially Jay White beating Okada for the championship and ending his last reign. His last reign would be a shock. Jay White beating Naito or Omega, if he was still in the company and had it, that would be a shock, I guess, because there's no story necessarily there. Even with Okada, there's a story there, but there's no reason for that to happen because Okada has been established so higher than Jay White. That's why I thought him losing in 20 minutes to Jay White or less at Wrestle Kingdom, that was more of a shock. That would be more of a shock than him winning the title from Tanahashi because he's old, broken down, doesn't really need a long title run. His body probably can't handle another a long title run, I feel, and still give out those great matches that he's known for. But I don't know. Maybe it's a little too pessimistic, but still, Jay White winning would not be a shock. It would be an upset, but it would not be the near the shock that Okada's winning was. Because think about it, let's go back a year before Okada won, February 2011. He was in TNA in pre-show matches that were like web-only matches and really never got used well. He was in tag matches and a couple of pretty meaningless singles matches that were on like the equivalent of TNA's main event. And then you fast forward 6 months, he's still in TNA. And he doesn't get back in New Japan until Wrestle Kingdom, I believe it was, I don't know, 6 or 7. The 2012 Wrestle Kingdom where he had that match with Yoshihashi. It was a whatever match. And it comes in the main event. This guy's a complete nobody. He's barely, he was on Henare level of status, right? Imagine Henare coming out after the main event and challenging Tanahashi. And Jay White didn't even do that. And then the next month, Okada wins the belt. And then, that was legitimately shocking and people weren't expecting it, but some people were on board. It was kind of mixed. But some people were on board, like, hey, this is a new thing. Tanahashi's been a champion forever. Maybe we could try this. And eventually, Okada grew into the role rather quickly in terms of match quality, in terms of character work. I felt, in my opinion, he got it pretty quickly. Other people's opinion is different, but that's not exactly what I'm getting at. Jay White has been in the company for a little bit over a year now. Had the match with Tanahashi, lost at Wrestle Kingdom for the IC championship. Won the U.S. title. Beat Tanahashi in G1. He's done a lot, and he's proven that he can beat Tanahashi. He can beat the best. He beat everyone in the top 40. I don't know if he beat Naito. Maybe he did. But it wouldn't be a shock because this guy, the only thing shocking about it is that he's actually getting this big of a push. But that's in a meta sense. In the world they established, this guy's completely on the level of almost to the level of Tanahashi. And he has the potential to be Tanahashi based on what they're presenting. So it wouldn't be a shock. I know that was long-winded, but still. The match, again, let's get back to the match. Okada Yoshihashi versus Balak Fale and Jay White. It starts quickly. Yoshihashi gets killed. Okada comes in. Yeah, he does stuff. Fale struggles. This was a little bit of a botch. He was struggling to slam Okada. When Okada didn't even struggle to slam Balak Fale when he finally did do it on the last show. But Fale tried to pick up Okada and he falls forward. He ends up falling on him. So it didn't he still did damage, I guess, but it wasn't that smooth. But eventually Fale hits Yoshi with the grenade and wins, obviously. Fale kills Okada after the match. And we didn't get the crucifix power bomb on the outside off, but Fale did hit a grenade on Uemura, so that was satisfying, I guess. Poor Uemura. Next match. The next match is pretty much the same group of people. It's the LIJ team versus Suzuki Gun team. And this time everyone comes out to Taichi's music, even Suzuki. And he doesn't look like he cares. Suzuki ends when he got in the ring, did not look like he cared for Taka's intro promo, which I didn't either. But the LIJ team comes out. Naito has darker hair. His natural color is black. It's not really that black and orange that he usually has, but it has a little darker hair. And Taichi again holds the ropes open, but Naito gets the upper hand, starting off with a big drop kick. And it's all the same matchups that we had last time that you would expect. Evil and Sabre started off. And it was overall, it wasn't anything I took notes on. It was just the same match. It was a pretty good match. I'm not saying anything about its quality, but it just wasn't anything new here. They're pushing all the same storylines with a little bit more nuance, but in this match, something that was extremely notable, two things that were extremely notable. Naito hit one of the most impressive looking Destinos on Taichi I've ever seen. Like, it's Kenny Omega taking the Destino level of devastating. It's not like the guy falls on his back. Like, he falls like on his upper back, neck area, which always looks great. Even though it's probably not the best for their health. But Zack Sabre Jr. called someone a dickhead. I'm pretty sure Evil when he got to the commentator's mic, which was funny. That's pretty important. But Naito feigns help and attacks Taichi after the match. So yeah, that was it. This whole match, this whole show, I should say, was building up to this main event. They had a turn-away sellout crowd for this match because Kushida's last farewell match before it goes to WWE. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan, the king of the heavyweights, going against Kushida, the ace of the junior heavyweights, who never was able to break up that heavyweight level, I should say. So, a lot of Kushida chants, and everyone's holding up a Kushida sign. Tanahashi looked very conflicted when he came in, because, it's his last match, but he's still got to beat his ass, because, that's what I do. And I felt like this match could be depending on how they use it, could be very indicative of Tanahashi's reign. Will Kushida be able to beat Tanahashi, proving that Tanahashi is a little bit, the more agile, athletic wrestler, technically sound wrestler will be bested. Like Jay White is pretty technically sound as well. And would that be the downfall of Tanahashi? Or they could go a lot of ways, different ways with it, I felt, depending on this match. But it ended up being, I don't know, what you expected, I guess. They had a lot of chain wrestling. I go over some of that, from the beginning, collar and elbows, even Kushida powers up to the ropes. I'm not going to give you the blow-by-blow, but basically, there's a lot of technical wrestling, mat wrestling, and it seemed that for a little bit, Tana was trying to take the heel role, but as the match went on, I'm like, God damn it. Tanahashi's going to beat Kushida. And I was really hoping Kushida would get a win on the way out, but, wrestling, when somebody leaves promotion, it's time-honored tradition. At the guy leaving, lays down for the guy, and I don't know maybe that was the rationale, or maybe they just might try to tell a different type of story. But I was just thinking, I don't know. I was just thinking that this could have been an opportunity to really tell us what state Tanahashi's in right now, and I felt losing to a Kushida would not only left everyone happy, but also leave everyone concerned for Tanahashi. But eventually, Tanahashi hits a crossbody in a high fly flow. But he didn't hit the high fly flow. He followed right into Kushida's knees, looked painful. Then Kushida finally got able to use the small package driver for the 2 count. Tana tries to keep the grip when he gets the Kimura. When he gets in the Kimura, but reverses somehow to a straight jacket suplex with a bridge. Kushida kicks out, and Tanahashi does not try for another high fly flow, but rather a cloverleaf. And Kushida was in for a good bit, but it was all for naught. Kushida taps out to the cloverleaf. They hug after the match. But as people having a feel-good moment, Jay White comes out and kills Tanahashi with a chair. And Pillmanizes the leg. Tana had to be carried off. Kushida addresses the crowd. And, poses with the crowd. And that's it. Farewell, Kushida. what Kushida meant to me was, I haven't watched most of his career. I gotta say, he won the junior heavyweight title, I believe, like 6 times. He won the Super J Cup. He won the Best Super Juniors twice. He's had great matches, with Will Ospreay, Hiromu. The list goes on past that, of course. But for me, I feel like he had very enjoyable matches, but he never had like a cohesive character. Like his character work is subtle. He played like I just feel like what I get from it. He's like a humble guy who just really loves wrestling and he likes Back to the Future, but he never expressed more than that. And like I feel like it's a lesser version of Tanahashi. I mean, basically most people come to that conclusion and how they book him and stuff, but it just seemed like you could be a white meat baby. I said that word. You could be a white meat baby face and still have character. I just feel like he's like a blank slate who has great technical matches. Happens to be one of the greatest technical wrestlers that we have going right now, but doesn't have much of an edge outside. He leaves it in the ring. Like all his characters expressed in the ring. I can appreciate that, but for some reason it's never resonated with me like Okada does. But I'm leaving on a negative note. But I gotta say, Kushida is great, and he's had great matches. He had many great title reigns. It's kind of disappointing at the time that he gets to fight a heavyweight once again was his last match. But when he gets to WWE via NXT or the main roster, or fuck even 205 Live, he's gonna make the best of it. I know that. And since he doesn't speak English that well, I reckon he speaks English worse than Nakamura, and hopefully he doesn't even touch the mic, because this guy doesn't need to talk. He just needs to wrestle, and he'll wow people with that. And I wonder, will he use the Back to the Future aspect of his personality? That he probably not. But anyways, farewell Kushida, and goodbye Night 3 at the Road to New Beginning tour. So now we move on to day 4, I should say, which was January 30th, today, Wednesday. Last I'm recording, so this might go up the next day in the morning, but start off with Yota Tsuji and Toru Henare versus Shota Umino and Ayao Yoshida. So it seems pretty obvious here to me that Toru Henare is going to be the winner. He's going to be winning this match for his team because he's the highest ranked guy. But anyway, Tsuji and Shota started off, and as the match was going on, Kevin Kelly's like, this is the night where title matches begin. Yep, because the main event is for the never open weight 6-man titles. And Kevin Kelly goes over the U.S. locations and the cards, which are not going to be streaming on New Japan World, and I find that odd. I find it odd that a lot of people are making a big deal about the cards that they're not going to actually be, like, they're basically house shows. So, I don't know. Like, I'm so mixed on the disappointment, because since I'm not going, and I don't really care to go, and it's not going to be on New Japan World, so I can't even watch it that way, it's pretty hard for me to give a shit about how disappointing those cards are. I mean, it's not going to have larger implications because, the government shutdown, was only able to, prevent them getting visas for February. But I think April, we're going to be perfectly fine. Unless the bureaucracy proves wholly inefficient once again. But anyways, it's disappointing for the people who are going, but outside of that, it's like, I don't know. I don't know why I keep asking. I don't know. I do know. It's not that fucking big of a deal. Like, who gives a shit? It's going to be fine. The shows that matter are going to have the people that matter on it. And yeah, it's disappointing for the people who go. But yeah, every bad show, and the show's not even going to be bad. It's going to be fine. It's going to be a good show. It's just not the people that you wanted to see, right? But that's disappointing. The show's going to be good, but there's been plenty of shows that people bought tickets for and got the people that they wanted to see, but ended up getting a shit show. So I know it's bad that you spent your money on it, but from my perspective, so I'm like, whatever, man. It doesn't affect me in any way, and it's a selfish way to think about it. But it would also be a little alarmist of me to act anything more than mildly disappointed about this, because it does not affect anything really in the grand scheme of things, and it's not indicative of a decline. It's merely a very small crack in the road for New Japan. AEW is probably going to be more of a threat to New Japan here in America than anything else. Not this situation, but anyways, this match, let me get back to the match. This match was really all about Shota and Tsuji, and Shota was able to win with a fisherman suplex on Tsuji, which surprised me because that means Henare loses, but he didn't get pinned though. I like that Shota's Umino's face. Like he had a shaving accident on the right side of his face, but that's not important. But that was an impressive win by Shota with a fisherman suplex. Pretty good. Then we had Ren Narita and Hiroyoshi Tenzan versus Tiger Mask and Manabu Nakanishi. So Ren quickly targets Tiger Mask with a dropkick, knocks him out of the ring, and you never do that to a veteran, especially like Tiger Mask. You can get mad. But in the meantime, Ren body slams Nakanishi, impressive. Then does a somersault senton, and Tiger Mask slaps. And Tiger Mask comes back and slaps the shit out of Ren and just kills the guy. Nakanishi eventually comes in and tags out Tiger Mask. Then it's Nakanishi versus Hiroshi Tenzan. And seeing them against each other instead of like tagging with each other, I see them one at a time, but this time it's both of them in. This bothers me how bad these two move. It's just horrific looking at them. So slow, so bad. Like, I don't even know how they lift weights. Like, how they do any compound weightlifting on how bad they seem to move. But eventually, Tenzan hits a suplex on Nakanishi, then tags out. Ren gets the gets the crab on Tiger, and eventually Tiger sets up Ren to get chopped by Nakanishi. It was a big chop from the top rope, but Ren holds on and he keeps fighting, but it's too bad. Tiger gets a rolling knee bar on Ren, and Tenzan breaks it up. Nakanishi with another big chop, and a Tiger driver on Ren for the win. Again, Ren showing fire, but so young lion, so he loses. Then we have a couple singles matches: Shingo Takagi versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And I like the inverse build. Like, normally build up a singles match with tag matches, and now they're building up tag matches with singles matches. I like it. And I had a question mark here for Shingo ankle. Did he actually? He probably did sprain his ankle, but it's not anything too bad, because here they're working on his knee, not his ankle. So yeah. So Kanemaru attacks him for the bell because he's a piece of shit. Shingo got thrown to the outside and landed on his foot. Kanemaru gains the advantage with the reverse DDT on the ramp, and he works the neck for a large portion of the match. And Kanemaru never saw the leg get injured, I guess, so he didn't know till a little bit later start working on it. So Takagi makes small progress, and then he gets a big suplex off. Kanemaru, after a while, starts to target that knee. Then at some point he was in a precarious situation and he had to get not red shoes. Marty Asano, he grabs him, throws a ref into Takagi, sips some whiskey, and tries to spits it in Takagi's face, but it misses. Shingo tries to hit a pop-up DVD, then a pumping bomber, and as he's about to hit his finish, El Desperado hits the ring and hits Shingo with the chair. And then that's a DQ victory for Shingo. Then Bushi comes out to save his guy, beats up on Desperado a little bit, but Shingo's hurting really badly. And just like that, they just start without any entrances or anything special. Bushi versus El Desperado starts. Bushi is using his belt because he came in his suit and stuff. He wasn't just coming in with his ring gear on. He had a suit on. So he takes off his belt and he takes off his clothes and stuff and uses the belt. And then he uses his shirt to choke Desperado. He's trying to take his mask off. Then Somewhere, Kanemaru interferes. Desperado's able to use a chair. He tries to unmask. Bushi almost gets counted out. But he gets back in. He gets stuck in a single leg crab. Kanemaru was holding the rope back slightly because since it's cables, technically, they don't have much give. So you can't pull them back that far. So he probably got pulled back like a whole 2 centimeters. And Bushi couldn't get it. But as soon as Shingo helped out getting Kanemaru off the ropes, I believe. And then magically, with those 2 centimeters back in Bushi's favor, he grabs the bottom rope. And eventually, Bushi was able to get a dive off on both Kanemaru and Desperado. But back in the ring, Desperado puts on a stretch muffler. Bushi misses the MX, gets unmasked immediately afterwards. Bushi wins by DQ because you can't be doing that shit. After the match, Bushi spits mist in Desperado's eyes and then unmasked him as well. And Bushi showed a good bit of his face when spitting out the mist. But, they still don't have his full identity, though. And then Desperado also, obviously got unmasked, saw a little bit of his face. And, like, these dudes with their hair and stuff, they look pretty handsome. It's too bad they gotta wear a mask. I wonder if I can find unmasked photos of Bushi and Desperado. Next up was Yoshihashi, Tomoaki Honma, Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Chase Owens, Takahashi, or Yujiro Takahashi, Bellic Fale, and Jake White. They keep stretching this goddamn Switchblade Shock. It won't be a shock if he wins. God damn. Anyways, Tanahashi came out with red hair this time. So he usually dyes his hair before a big match. Sometimes, I don't know. But Jay White attacks Tanahashi before the bell rings. Okada saves Tanahashi, though. It was pretty cool to see them work together, which we did see more of throughout the match. It was really cool to see those two working together and not trying to kill each other. When Honma came in, there was a big Honma chant, seemed like a surprise Honma. Since this is a different city, it's a Sendai, so people chant for different things, different from Tokyo or Osaka. But Chase tries to hit a package power driver and kill Honma. We got broke up though. Yujiro comes in. Jay White viciously drives Honma into the apron and back into the barricade. The reason I didn't say anything about Yujiro coming in because he had a pretty unimpressive offense as usual. But afterwards, Fale stays on Honma. Honma tries to slam Fale, but fails. And eventually, Honma was able to get the hot tag on Okada. Body slams Fale once again. And Okada was kicking out very late after taking punishment from Fale. But so he's really getting over the fact that Fale is pretty brutal, pretty hard hitting, even though he doesn't do a lot of moves. Those moves really hurt. The match breaks down. Okada. So it was Tanahashi versus White at this point. Tanahashi starts strong, but Jay White starts to target that knee after a while. White uses the Dragon Screw on Tanahashi. Things break down. The match breaks down. But eventually, Yujiro finds himself between Okada and Tanahashi. And that ended up well because Okada hit him with a power driver. Tanahashi grabs Yujiro from that position. It's a Styles Clash. Okada hits an elbow from the top rope. And then a high fly flow on Yujiro for the win. It's a great finish. Really good match. After the match, Okada speaks. And Tana and Okada shake hands. So I like it a lot. Next up was just Naito, Sonata, and Evil versus Taichi, Sabre, and Suzuki. Since they're away from Tokyo, Minoru gets his own entrance to treat the fans that normally don't get big shows like here in Sendai. Or don't get to see their favorites consistently, I should say. So this time, Suzuki looked impressed by Taka's speech. I don't know why. He looked like he was happy just to get his hands on Sonata once again, licking his lips and shit. And then, when the match started, Zack was like to Evil, saying, "Come on, dickhead." When he calls somebody a dickhead, I gotta write that down because I like that stuff. But anyway, Zack Sabre Jr. baits Evil. They had an even exchange. Naito Taichi, they always going at it and stuff. And the match goes crazy after a little bit. Suzuki goes nuts on Sonata, like throws him in the chairs, throws a chair at his leg, and eventually, Suzuki, he's crazy, so he gets a chair and just goes crazy on Yoshida with it. But eventually, Zack Sabre Jr. pins Evil with a victory roll and a bridge. Evil pinned once again by Zack Sabre, and he looks distraught. He's very disappointed. And I know with all these times he's been bested by Zack Sabre Jr., he gonna be bringing that funk in that championship match. I know that much. So, but Suzuki gonna take the LIJ titles with them. Well, they stop before they leave the actual arena, but they hold them up, saying that we're gonna get these, and maybe they will. I don't think so. So our main event, it was Bullet Club defending their never openweight 6-man titles. It was Ryusuke Taguchi, Toru Yano, and Togi Makabe versus Taiji Ishimori, Tangaloa, and Tama Tonga. So either they changed the song, or they finally got the rights to use Makabe's song on New Japan World. It's also Taguchi's hometown, so the hometown kid, hometown dude out here fighting. And Bullet Club then comes out, of course, and they come out to the Gorillas of Destiny's music. And I know they always use the heavyweights themes when it's a heavyweight and junior team. They use the heavyweights theme because they just hold heavyweights in high regard. But for me, it feels kind of odd here because I hold Taiji Ishimori in higher regard than both of the Tongas. But whatever. But Taiji and Taguchi start, and Taguchi gets the upper hand. Eventually, Yano and Tama gets in, I just gotta say, antics. Taguchi hits the Dodon on Taiji, but the ref's pulled out. Chase Owen goes for the package power driver, but Yano hits him right in the nuts, so he can't hit it. Fale, I gotta, Chase Owens interfering. He's not in this match, so I gotta emphasize that point. Then Fale interferes, tries to kill Taguchi, but Okada saves the day. He comes out from the back and saves the day, hits a drop kick. Then Jay White comes out, but Tana then comes out and saves Taguchi once again with a sling blade. All these odds are getting stacked up against Taguchi, but someone always comes out to save it, and how convenient. Well, of course, the rival is gonna come out and says, no, this match is not gonna be ruined by account of my rival, so I gotta go out and kill him. And anyone else, any other fucking guy can go out and ruin the matches. I don't give a shit. But if Jay White does it, I gotta be out there and go kill the guy. And Tana hits Jay with a sling blade. Jado, still able to cheat. He hits Taguchi with a kendo stick. But just like that, Taguchi still gets the upper hand on Ishimori and taps him out with an ankle lock. And we got new, never openweight 6-man champs. And the hometown dude wins rather convincing fashion. Then Taguchi talks to the crowd and thank you, Sendai. And he does his dance. So that was cool. So overall, good shows. It's what do I expect from New Beginning shows. They were satisfying to watch, and I really do think, to bring back the phrase I say, the show on Saturday gonna be bringing that funk, and on the 11th gonna be bringing more funk. So overall, if you got this far, thank you. I gotta say, I don't feel after watching these shows, I feel satisfied. They built to the upcoming singles matches and championship matches quite nicely, so I cannot complain really about much here. They're good shows. It left me satisfied and left me wanting more and looking forward to what's going on. I just wish they spaced the days out the shows more, like they're back to back to back, which I would like to have a little bit of a break. And maybe it was a little bit wrong of me to try to review all 3 of these shows at once, because now I have over an hour-long video as of recording this, which is not the best because I don't know how off the rails this has gotten and how much you'll listen to, but hopefully you'll tell me how bad or good this is. And if you thought it was bad, you probably wouldn't even get this far to begin with. 'Cause I know no one got to the end of any of my other reviews. So, anyways, that is the first 3 Road to New Beginning shows. Next up is New Beginning in Sapporo. After that is going to be one more Road to New Beginning show. And then after that is going to be the New Beginning in Osaka. And all those shows will get their own review. And hopefully I'll make some improvements to this format or something. I'm not feeling that these reviews are great. I want these reviews to be great content, and I'm just not feeling it right now. But hopefully you can give me some tips on how to make this better or something, because I don't know. People are not watching all the way through, and I don't know. But all in all, I've enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to the next show. Thank you so much for listening. Like the video, what I'm not going to say. You know what to do. See you later.